Howdy, folks. Hope you're well. Sorry for the slight delay. Computer restarted needed. And technical problems have been the flavor of the last 2 days. But we are live. I can see lots of people. We already have 50-odd people watching. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you're all well. Good evening to all the happy, positive pigeon people out there. Welcome. Welcome to everybody that's tuning in. We've got a lot of people tuning in tonight. As I always ask, please share it out. Let people know what we're doing. Share it and share it into your timeline. Any friends that you might know that might like watching, any groups that you might like, any groups that you might like but think might not like to watch. We're open to all. So, thank you to everybody that's joined us. I'm going to say hello to some people that have joined. Thank you very much to Seamus Kinsella, Neil Dallas, Great Witch, Liam Whitmore, Tom Swift, Andrew Walton, Reggie Howes, John O'Brien, Ian Snaith, Stephen O'Brien, Pete Berry, Tom Powell, John Angwin, Ronald Bigwood, Dave Lawrence, Ingo Bergmans, Lee Davidson, Steve Duggan, Jeffrey Abel, Andy Gibbs, Jeremy Davies, Alan Cormack, Mark Walker, Melvin Horn, Kev Larimer, Anthony Bracken. Zandy is in as well. Zandy's watching. All right, Zandy, hope you had a good day at school, buddy. John O'Brien, James Don, Gareth Adams, CRFT Lofts, Gary Holiday, Brian Perry, Scott Barron, evening to you, Scott. Paul Graham, Derry Lofts, Jeffrey Abel, Rhino Ricketts, Marshall James, and lots more. I will say hello to more people as we go. Got lots of results to go through at the moment on today's show, which we will be doing now. Let's get them done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share these said results. Hopefully you can see them all right on here. Got lots to go through, so let's get them done. Hopefully you can see this now. So here we go. As I say, lots to get through today. Congratulations to Jay Carey in the Yearling National 2009 with IHU 18S075037, flying at 1283. Well done to you, mate. Wolfden and O'Neill at the Denting Homing Club. 7 members sent 133 birds, and they came in there. And J&R Newell came second, third. Wolfden and O'Neill again in at fourth. W. Holland and Jackson taking fifth and sixth. J.R. Noodles seventh and eighth. And R. Wignall and Jones took ninth. And Wolfden and O'Neill again took 10 and 11. I think that's a duplicate. And then J.R. Newell took in the border amalgamation. 40 members sent 1,111 birds, the rate of 11 o'clock in the southeast wind, and it was from Worcester. J&R Newell, flying 88 miles, average flying time of 147. Took the top spot there with D. Knox taking second, J&R Newell third, J. Bodley and Son taking fourth. Well done to you guys. Then we have got a race from Windrush, 79 birds, of which 25 were clocked. 4 members sent 79 birds there. DNA Swift and Son. I believe we have Mr. Swift watching. Congratulations for taking the top 3. R. Nightingale 4th, M. Stone 5th, R. Nightingale 6th. Ian A. Gibson at 7th, M. Stone at 8. And DNA Swift and Son taking 9 to 12. Well done to you there. Burton and South Derbyshire Federation. This was a hell of a result. 1,289 birds in the south-southwest wind. Flying from Yeovil, DNA Swift taking first, second, fourth, fifth, and sixth, with Mr. and Miss J. Whitehouse and Son taking third in there. Storm of a session, and R. Pearson 7th, 8th, and 9th. Well done to you in the Burton and Derbyshire South Fed. Not far away from me, that federation. So congratulations to you. A shout out to Ingo Bergmans, who is watching in from Belgium. He is the racing partner of Carl Donnelly. And he's got his 2 first prize, young bird and old birds, racing in the last national race from Châteauroux. He did a great weekend, and well done to you, Ingo. You're 16 years old. You're an inspiration to us all, mate. And partnering with Carl has ultimately set you on fire, and you are one to watch, mate. So you are first and second. You got 2 firsts over the weekend with old birds and young birds from Châteauroux. Really great. Well done for you, Ingo. That's what we like to see. District South Gloucester District Federation from Frome, 2,554 members sent. H. Gooden, Son, and Granda. Is that grandson or granddaughter? Don't know. Cut off. But well done to you. Taking the top 5 there in that Fed. 6th and 7th at N. Pierce. 8th, Mr. and Mrs. B. Richard. B. Richards again taking 10 to 12 Federation result there. Well done to you guys. And then we are into Concert Federation. 767 birds. Connor and Son took top spot there. Velocity of 1264. Well done to you guys. Next, we have Stobb Brothers flying from Huntingdon 11. 7 members sent 417 birds, which 129 were clocked in race time. Well done to you. Then we have H.W. Firth and Sons taking result from Bedhampton. 104 birds sent by 6 members. Well done to you. You also got 3rd to 7th as well. Excellent. And 9th to 10th. Well done. Dominated the flying there. Back to the Bristol South Road Federation. R&J Whiteside. Once again, dominating. These results for R&J Whiteside, I've read out these results now for the last few weeks, and unbelievable. Flying from Newton Abbott, 67 members sent 1,257 Federation birds. R&J Whiteside, 1 to 20. 1 to 20. Can you imagine? Distance of 75 miles, velocity of 1341, average flying time for the winner at hour and 39. But look at what 20th was, an hour and 40. Literally 1 minute behind to get the top 20. And that would have been a sight to see. I would love to see those birds coming in there. Well done to you guys. Unbelievable results. Next, we have Jason Bateman, who's beginning to be a regular on our shout-out results from Truro, flying with northwest winds. Jay Bateman took top spot there. Don't know where it's from. Can't see it on there, but I know it's flying from Truro, but I don't know what club it was in. 3 hours, 15 minutes, 144 miles there, velocity of just short of 1,300. Well done to you, Jason. Then we've got we've got Truro Federation for Truro race. Let me just see here. There's 144 members, 16 clubs in the combine. I'm just trying to find out what combine it is. Can't see. Should know. Oh, sorry. West of England South Road Combine. West of England South Road Combine, 2,157 birds. And I'm going to apologize in advance if I mispronounce this name. M. Tudoruk at Glastonbury, the top 6 in that combine. 119 miles, average time 39 minutes, flying at 14:11 for the top spot. Well done to you guys. Top 6 in the combine. Wow. Unbelievable. And we should mention D and B Rayner for 7th, 8th, and 9th as well in there. And I believe that's Stuart Wilcox coming in. It may be Stuart Wilcox. If it's not Stuart, it's Mr. S. Wilcox for 10th, 11th, and 12th as well. Over at the Morley and District Homing Society, the Newbury Old Bird Race, 9 members sent 126 birds. Congratulations to Silverwood and Dyson for coming in first. M. Holt, I think that's Mick Holt. Second, R. Kitching, third. S. Spate and Son, fourth. And G. Wild for fifth. Well done to you guys. A special mention, which I will come back to in a minute. That's a wrong picture, actually. Right. So then we've got an American result. We've got an American result for you. Mr. Glemser took first and second over there. I'm trying to find where it was from. Hang on a minute. I should have been more prepared on this one. Well done to Mr. S. Glemser for sending and getting just to have non-UK and Ireland results coming in. I want get that. So thank you very much for submitting those. Then Sharon Leonard in the Arklow United RPC, 172 bird clock, 7 members sent that. The result is from Kinsale, and Mr. Leonard took top spot, flying obviously with Yannick as a partner. 2, 4, 6, 8. Took top 8 there over at Arklow. You don't want to see that one. Stephen O'Brien next, East Coast Federation in Dublin. Shankill result from Formoy. Stephen, doing a great job these days. Excellent, Stephen, taking first, plus 1,090 in pools. Vinny Brady taking second, Derek O'Toole third, Anthony McDonald fourth, and Jim Byrne fifth. Well done to you guys. Well done to Stephen. Next is we've got the Donny Carey Racing Pigeon Club Liberate from Marlow. Keegan and Darling got the first spot there. 11 members sent 280 birds. And deep on 4 miles, velocity of 1364. Maypole Portland, 15 members sent 30. Hours there. Don't know what club this is, but reading it out anyway. Congratulations to Derek Tierney for your win. Don't know where it was from, but you had a good first and third there. Well done to you. Over at the Portishead District South Road Federation, Newton Abbott, R&J Whiteside, top 13 in there. 9 members sent 233 birds in the club. And obviously we read out their result earlier, but they got top 13 in the club. It's the first batch, believe it or not. We have even more. It has gone mad, and I'm happy with that. Congratulations to Alan Knowles over at the Malahide and District Racing Pigeon Club. 15 members sent 539 birds, and Alan took the top spot there. Well done to you, Alan. And first club for me against 539 birds, he says, and only a handful of 8-12 miles before the start of the season. So well done to you, Alan. Another US result here from Tom Del Martino. So we've got Tom Del Martino flying in the Long Island Combine. 301 birds, 13 lofts competing there. And again, I love these international results. I want these international results. So please keep sending them in. Congratulations to you, Tom, for taking the top spot there over there. Mr. as well. You're only flying 12 birds and you've only been flying 5 years. Congratulations to you. Well done. Well done indeed. I want let me do that 1 second, guys. I will come back to that one in a second. So then we've got, I want to give a shout out to, where is it? Hang on a minute. I've screwed that up, guys. I will come back to that in a second. Next is Riley and Moran in the Widnes Federation. You've taking Fitness Fed. Really good result there. Next, we've got Reiner. Another international result. Well done to you, Reiner, for coming second, third, fourth, 28th, 29th, 49th. Well done to you, Reiner. Well done to you. And again, as many results as you can. Next is the provisional top. Burn. Well done for taking top spot. And Brian Perry coming in from Gorey at second, and Owen Kirk won third, Brian Perry in at fourth, and Owen again in at fifth. Well done to you. Dan Bradley posted this earlier into our group. He's holding the first club, first fed, first South section, and third national in the young birds from Penzance. And that bird was bred by Sheldon Leonard and Yannick Derrida. Well done to you. George Colley posted this. George in the Fingless Racing Pigeon Club, first, third, fourth, fifth, with a special mention to Mr. Dylan. So I just got a note from Gary that sounds like we're good. Mr. Dylan and Daniel Boyer at second as well. But well done to George Colley for first and fifth. I hope my sound is all right. Let me just check that that people, if my sound is okay, please just let me know. I'm going to. I hope the sound is better. I've just adjusted. Gary, watching. Remember, Gary, not to be watching it on another feed, else it will screw it up. I hope the sound is better. Sound not better, guys. I'm going to change microphones. Tell me if that is better, please. Is that sound any better, folks? I've just paused. Hang on. Now. I'll tell you what, it's been the constant. Thank you. It's better now. So you'll get a pictures in a few seconds, guys. Again, apologies. My last 2 days has been an absolute bloody nightmare with technical problems. 1 second. I got messages coming into me showing me things. Okay, so you should be able to see the results page now. Okay. Images is back. Thank you for that. Let me know that you can hear me or not. Unbelievable. What nightmare have we got going on? I can hear. I can't hear. I'm going to change microphones. All right. So you're on quite a big delay today, guys. So I apologize about that, but I have sorted it better now. Thank you very much, guys. Technical problems, honestly. Unbelievable. Everything's okay now. Great. Okay, let's finish off these results. And again, thank you to everybody that's joining as well. Excellent. I don't know what's on that microphone. Something else I've got to figure out. Right. So where were you? So congratulations to George Colley over there in Finglas. Congratulations to D&J Stadden for taking the British International Championship Club from Forget. Well done to you guys as well. J&K Birmingham and Sons in the Rathfarnham district. Well done to you, 4 members, sent 67 birds there. And over in Holland, Lemons and Mertens took the top spot there. Well done to you. 440 birds from Châteauroux. Excellent and well done to you. The next one is a shout out to Robbie Wilms, who's got the 5 best young birds in Belgium over 4 national races. That's a excellent job there. And Brian Perry is delighted with the result, and so you should be sending 12 and clocking 4. And he wants to say a special thank you to Stephen O'Brien for breeding his Nagori Racing Pigeon Club. He clocked in and got the top spot and third and sixth there as well. A couple of special mentions today. So I want to give a mention to, when I find it, congratulations to Ricky Turner for winning the British Masters National One Love race. Well done to you, Ricky. I believe it was £26,000. Well done to you for taking that, and big congratulations. And the next special mention that I want to give is to this team here. The Four Nations Syndicate did an excellent job at the RPRA One Love race, taking third and seventh. Really well done to you guys. You did amazingly well. You had more. In there as well to you guys. Unbelievable. This sound must be internet. Right, that's coming back now. Thank you. Okay. So hopefully you can hear me there as well. To you guys. Sound is in and out. This is internet, guys. I really apologize. Honestly, the last 2 days I've had a total nightmare with technology. Oh my good God. So hopefully you can hear me. To you guys. Sound is in and out. This is internet, guys. I really apologize. Honestly, the last 2 days I've had unbelievable. I will carry on and crack on, guys. There's not a lot more I can do. I've got everything I can going on. Yes. Tell you what I am going to do. I'm just going to try. Now, this may kill or cure it. Just 1 second, guys. I apologize about this. I live in the middle of nowhere, and so my entire internet connection runs off a 4G connection, which typically is good. But my internet connection is showing really not very good at all. So what I'm going to do, and this may kill or cure it, if it interrupts the broadcast, yeah, I've tried all of that, mate. I actually rebooted the router and the entire computer and everything before I started the show, which is why I was a little bit late. What I'm actually going to do is switch connections. If you lose me, I will be back. If it interrupts the broadcast, Right, guys, I'm hoping you can see me again. I've gone onto another network, and I'm hoping. Gary, you're here. That's good. Right, we are back. Apologies for that. I'll tell you what, the last few days have been an absolute nightmare technically. Blackout. Now, you're all being well back on. I can hear myself on a repeat. Excellent. Right, apologies for that. Honestly, guys, Thursday, smashed my laptop screen because I dropped my vape on it. I've never hurt a laptop computer. I treat my Apple products like women. Better than women, some would say. And marks on the darkness system, indeed. So that's internet. I've had internet issues all day here. Normally, I run off a 4G router here. So I'm in the middle of nowhere, and there's no broadband, proper broadband here or anything. And another advantage of moving house soon, hopefully. You know, it's just a nightmare. But normally it's fine. But my main internet connections been a nightmare, and now I'm broadcasting off my phone, and it seems to be working. So I got some problems. But yeah, anyway, and then yesterday was a nightmare with internet. But anyway, I'm back. I'm sorry about that, guys. Nothing I can do. Trying my best. Right. Okay. So where were we? Everybody's results great. Keep sending them in. Robert, I rebooted my laptop before I even started. Rebooted the router, the internet, the Wi-Fi, reboot the laptop, rebooted everything, and it's been a nightmare. Anyway, let's crack on. Again, apologies. It just seems to be a technical nightmare at the moment. So there's your race results. And I can't see how many people are watching because it's not showing me for some reason. But it doesn't matter. I can see people interacting with me, and we're all good now. So, right. So, what we are going to do now is we're going to introduce Gary Tomlinson. Many of you know him as our guest, and Gary's going to be talking to you, amongst other things. He's going to be talking to you about pigeon health. I'm going to let him tell you more. Gary?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can, mate. And apologies for problems. One of those days. So, yeah, Gary, you've got a lot of people watching you. I know we've got people just tuning in to watch you. So I'm going to let you crack on, mate.
You're trying to make me feel important there, tuning in to just watch me. Right.
People are. Genuinely, I have had people, I actually had a guy accidentally click the guest link. He came on my screen before I went, and he's tuning in to you. So, yeah, there you go. Go on, mate.
Right. First thing I want to talk about is how important it is to keep your stock pigeons healthy. And the pigeons which races all birds last year, they also need to be kept healthy. The biggest virus, stroke disease in the pigeon world today, which a lot aren't aware of, is the herpes virus. And I want to elaborate a bit more. In 2015, in our stock lofts, we had youngsters which, when locking the loft up at night, were absolutely 100% healthy. The next morning, you went in the loft and there was youngsters stone dead in the nest bowl. These youngsters was aged between 12 and 15 days old. My wife, Annette, said, do not waste any time. Take 2 live youngsters plus 2 stock pigeons straight to Belgium and go and see Raf Herberts. This I did, and upon seeing the stock pigeons, Raf said he suspected we had a severe case of the herpes virus. Now, at that time, I did bits about it, but never really delved into it deeply. Raf decided to keep one of the live youngsters and send the other live youngster to Ghent University for a second opinion. He also sent me home with some vaccine and said immediately vaccinate every pigeon on the premises. And this we did. And he said we would have a result back in roughly 5 to 7 days. Within the week, Raf rang me back and said it had been confirmed we had a severe case of the herpes virus. And he said we must vaccinate again 14 days after the first vaccine. This we did. And every year since then, we have vaccinated for the herpes virus. I must say that we have never bred youngsters so healthy in his lives. I've also gone on to help other people who have witnessed similar and the same problems. They've also come back to me, which I'm not prepared to name names, and said, Gary, what fantastic advice that was. They also have gone on to say how healthy their young birds are. But rewinding now, this time of year is very, very crucial within pigeons for the health for the following year. So many people will run out there now and buy cheap corn from the farms. This is where it all starts. You've got farmers which couldn't care less what vermin are running across the corn, thus spreading disease. But it's priced right, 3, 4, 5 bags, £5 a bag. So people go out there because obviously corn this day and age is very expensive. But if you want your birds to perform the following year, then you must give them the best possible and don't let up on the health situation. They need treating still regular. As I've said, the herpes is a killer. It is a massive problem within our sport today. I had people come in this year to me saying, I've got youngsters dying within the loft. I had people coming in saying their old birds were dying within the loft. I advised them on what to do, and many followed that advice. And yes, youngsters still died. Yes, old birds still died. But on the whole, they were cured. Now, if you come across this sort of virus, my first advice is to put them straight on Domestos. Many will say, Domestos, bleach? Yeah, that's the way to do it. And the dosage is 10 ml to 5 litre of water. Let the water stand for 24 hours. And if possible, if you can, renew the water every 6 hours because the potency of the Domestos will be gone within 8 hours. So they're not getting the full effect of it. It's very hard to cure a virus, but you can counteract it from spreading. This is only my opinion, but it's a tried and tested opinion. I know what many are wanting me to say is how do I keep 700 pigeons healthy in one loft? With great difficulty. And anybody who runs one loft racing tells you that the health situation is not a problem, then they're lying. Because trust me, it is. We're 5 years in now, and I think we've finally cracked it. Not 100%, but we are 99.9% there. The first thing is, all birds which arrive at this loft are vaccinated for PMV. So many people out there are still not vaccinated for PMV until they've moved all the youngsters and all the youngsters together. Again, false economy. I cannot stress how much and the importance is vaccinate your youngsters straight away as soon as they leave the nest. Even at 16 days old, vaccinate them whilst they're in the nest. Following the PMV vaccine, at 31 days old, vaccinate youngsters for PMV/herpes. It's a must. I can't stress enough how much a must it is. I'd love to name names, but I won't. But so many people out there have followed this and 1 out of 10 had healthy youngsters, not youngsters dying, not losing youngsters, etc., etc. If you haven't got any young birds, you've got no old birds. Remember that. going back to the one loft. First thing we do, we vaccinate for PMV. Then 14 days later, we vaccinate for PMV stroke herpes. Up until this year, I also vaccinated for pox. Why? Because within one loft racing, you always have somebody trying to get a step ahead of somebody else. They're vaccinating for all different kinds of things, thinking, cool, my birds won't catch this, my birds won't catch that. What a load of crap. And it only takes one person to vaccinate the pigeons for pox. Then 21 days later, when they're bathing together, it's passed on to the rest. Is that fair? Not at all. So, being accountable for all these pigeons and maintain health, we have to then vaccinate every pigeon. But this year, we monitored the pigeons every 3 weeks by looking in the mouth, which is where the pox starts. It can start on the nose, it can start on the eyes, but you can visually see that. You can't see inside the pigeon's mouth unless you examine it. So every 3 weeks, we examine inside the pigeon's mouth. No sign of pox, no need to treat. I blame Columbivac for the pox virus because they brought out a combination vaccine of PMV and pox. So what does everybody do? They run along, buy this vaccine, and they vaccinate all their pigeons for PMV and pox. This, some people didn't. It's then spread on through the crates, on transports, etc., etc., and it spreads like wildfire. It don't kill the pigeon, but it looks very unsightly, and you cannot race. So that demoralises people straight away. Going back now to the one loft again, we treat them every 4 to 6 weeks for canker using 3 different products. I won't name the products, but using 3 different products, all from the vet, all prescribed by the vet. Trichomoniasis is a massive thing within youngsters, along with ornithosis. So we treat every 4 to 6 weeks for trichomoniasis, canker, every 3 to 5 weeks for ornithosis, which, bearing in mind, we use the darkness system as much as I'm against it. Then birds are shut up from 5 in the afternoon to 9 in the morning. Imagine the amount of dust which is created within that loft. And then pigeons are breathing that all night long. And if somebody with 30 pigeons in a 6x6 section will say, your pigeons are gobbling the same amount of dust down them. So ornithosis is a big thing within pigeons. Again, we use 3 different products. So the pigeons don't become immune to one set of treatment, if you like. Again, I'm not prepared to name what we use. If people want to PM me or whatever, then I will. Same with the canker, same with the vaccine, same with everything else. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to push anything on you. It's your choice. You either take the advice or you don't take the advice. As people know me, a spade's a spade. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I say it as it is. Some like it, some don't.
Got a couple of questions, Gary.
Okay, go on.
I think you've already answered some, but I'll put them up there anyway and what have you. So John O'Brien, what vaccine is there for herpes? From what you're saying, there's none.
There's none approved in the UK.
No.
And that's where we need the RPRA to come on board. I get the vaccine, and I've helped 1 or 2 more people to get the vaccine. It's again not an approved vaccine within the UK, but it needs to be, because herpes is the biggest and fastest growing virus within our sport. Trust me.
Okay. Thank you for that, mate. And is that something that the RPRA is obviously actively aware of from a point of view of what needs to be done? Are you aware of what discussions have happened, or if anything?
I would imagine they are, because obviously they run their own one-off race. So they will have come across many, many different forms of disease, virus, sick pigeons, just like we did when we first started out. And although I've been in pigeons for many, many years, following on from my father, I've come across things in one-off racing, disease-wise, which I never ever knew existed. And I would dare say that Sean Hunt, who's started out one-off racing this year in Dublin, and done a fantastic job, I must say, for his first year. Will have all, and bearing in mind, you're talking about a top-class fancier in Sean Hunt, and had pigeons for many, many years. He will also have come across more disease or unwell pigeons than he's ever seen in his life before. And he'll have also scratched his head and wondered why and what's going on. This is one-off racing. You've got so many pigeons from all over the world. Not all over the world, but in Europe, all over the Great Britain, all over Ireland, all mixing together. So you've got cross-contamination of so many different pigeons. The first 6 weeks in one-off racing is an absolute nightmare of pigeons coming to the loft. Because until you've had them 6 weeks, you're not out of the danger zone. And once
I was speaking to his loft manager. I was speaking to his loft manager over there, who's a seasoned pigeon guy, and he said it's just a different ball game when you've got, one loft birds is a completely different ball game, which obviously we all know. Some more questions coming in, mate. Gary, does all corn not come from farms? Now, I know what you're going to say to this, but I'll let you answer it anyway. You were talking from a point of view of actually coming directly from the farms, yeah? Yeah,
I'm talking about corn which has never been cleaned, gone through various cycles of cleansing. It's basically dumped in a barn, may have a bit of a cover put over it, and left. Then you get to the UK corns, which, they're good corn, which I'm talking now from a corn supplier. Yes, they are good corns, and we do have some great corn out there from the UK. Then we move on to the continent, different class altogether, different world altogether. And I don't mean this to be disrespectful to any UK corn company, but I'm sorry, the Belgians and the Dutch are in a different league. Bearing in mind, this is my opinion.
From a point of view of what? And what, we get their corn over here.
How clean it is. The quality of the maize. The quality of the peas. The absolute quality of the mixes are entirely in a different league.
Okay. That's an interesting point. Stephen O'Brien says, what do you think the cause of fat eye is, Gary? As it seems to only have come about in the last season or two, particularly this season. It's everywhere.
You've hit the nail on the head, Stephen. I actually meant to mention this. It's herpes. Vaccinated pigeons against herpes, which many have done, and reported back to me this year, no problems with fat eye. Now, all these people have had problems in previous years with fat eye. Some people this year have come to me which didn't vaccinate for fat eye, and luckily, I saved some eye drops which I got from Belgium a few years ago, and it's cured him in 3 days. If you do get a serious case of fat eye, then if you vaccinate or if you inject Relinco Spectrin injectable for 3 days using 0.3 mil, then it would clear it immediately. But I wouldn't do that unless the whole of the loft was showing signs of it. Isolated instances, no. Just isolate them and it would clear up.
Cool, mate. Thank you for that. So James says, excellent, Gary. Anthony Bracken says, Gary, do you think there's a link between the darkness and sickness? And I was going to ask you this question. Why are you not a fan of it? And is it all health related? Is it the dust issue? But like Anthony said, do you think there's a link between the darkness and sickness?
100%. 100%. If I was racing pigeons again today, I would have one team on the dark, one team not on the dark, purely because you're going totally against nature. It's not normal. Now, we may next year go on the light system. I'm not sure yet. I'm just delving a little bit deeper into it because you're going against nature, but not solely as we're to lock the birds up for so many hours in the evening and for so many months. Having said that, we only darken our pigeons from the clocks going forward in March, so the last Saturday in March, until the 8th of June. Remember, our final race is early. It's at the end of August. And most of our birds we send there are carrying minimum 8 flights. The winner this year had 7 3/4 in, which I was always told is perfect for flying the channel and shows they're in top condition. But many still had a full wing, many had 9 in. You know, so going back to your question, yes, I do think that young bird sickness and the darkness are connected. It's a problem. We're going against nature. It's not normal.
Okay, mate. Another question. Well, a comment from Robert is that it's bacterial soup in one loft. Like you said, you know, it's a whole mixture of birds. Greg Marshall asks, what's your thoughts on the massive losses around the UK?
Definitely birds of prey. I were demoralised this year. We never, ever loft flew, telling a lie there. The first 30 pigeons which came into our one loft were loft flown because they came very, very early in February. But the main pigeons came, because I always say the best performing pigeons in our race come between the 10th of March and the 10th of April. This has been proven over a good number of years now.
Why do you think that is, mate? I know you've said that before. You said that. Yeah, I've heard you say that to people. What's the reason do you think that is?
Well, my thoughts is that the early ones, which come in February, have 2 moults. They immediately come in, and we get the darkness hours naturally between 4:30 and 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. Then we again force them to molt the end of March until the 8th of June. So I just think it affects them. That's my thoughts. And looking at performances, these early pigeons will perform very well in the early hotspot races. But come the final, you know, for me, they're not the same as the ones which come later. But it's each their own. I've mentioned this to people before. Yeah, they still send pigeons early every year. You know, I'm only trying to advise, which is a tried and tested thing for us. Maybe it's the way I race them. Maybe it's the way we do things. I don't know. But going back to the losses situation is, we never loft flew the youngsters this year, other than the first 30, which I said come early. We put them on the transporter and took them 2 miles 3 times a day. Let them fly straight back to the loft. Yes, we lost some, but on the whole, it was 100% better. Why didn't we loft fly them? Purely because I didn't want a hawk attack or falcon attack over the loft. 1 kill, they're never away. But how many sets of peregrines do these youngsters, say we're training from 30 mile, how many sets of peregrines do these youngsters pass coming from 30 mile? God knows how many. What brought it home to me is, and Rob actually mentioned it as well, is, Dad, as soon as these birds come out of transporter, they're skimming the grass. They've gone low to grass because the hawks have been at them that many times. And this year, I loosed them in very, very small groups to eliminate the falcon attacks. But there's that many of them about now, it's impossible. We took youngsters training 30 miles and probably let 7 groups go, 6 or 7 groups go, of 80 or 90 at a time, roughly, approximately. And you get 3-4 groups go through, no problem whatsoever. Then one group, bang, comes scattered all over. Leading to the final, which really, really did it in a big way. We last trained on Wednesday, and I had 5 youngsters come back to the transporter. which you know straight away you're in trouble. Something's happened.
Mm.
We were waiting for youngsters coming home all day. One didn't come home. Now, that pigeon's gone through all that training tosses, 40 or 50 training tosses. It's gone through all them hotspot races. And the people who own that pigeon, their hopes are there for that pigeon in the final. Through no fault of ours, it's gone.
Mm.
I hear many people say to me, oh, you've lost 50 today. Oh, you've lost 60 today. Oh, you've lost 30 today. Yeah, we have. And we did. But what these people don't realise is you're training 500-600 pigeons. They're going down the road with 30, losing 5, losing 6, losing 7. Then percentages are far higher than what people's percentages are in one-off racing. And what really does cheese me off is when people are saying, oh, they've lost 200, they've lost 300 since they took the intake. Look at your own loft. Look in your own loft. You're starting with, let's say you start with 80 pigeons. If you end up with half of them, you're lucky. Them percentages are far higher than any one-off race. And I'm not just talking about our one-off race. I'm talking about all one-off races.
All that matters is the percentages. And that's why I've worked the percentages out. A couple of weeks ago, I did a percentage analysis on one-off race. I think you were on that show. As a percentage of, ultimately there's 3 percentages that matter. Well, 3 numbers that matter, that make up the percentages. The first one is how many birds did they start with? How many birds got to the final race? And how many birds came back in the first 2 days and then subsequently. And if you work them numbers out, that's what matters. And then if flyers compare that to their own numbers, in a lot of cases, actually the percentages are a lot higher for one-off races than actual flyers, regular flyers flying into their back garden. That's all that matters is percentage.
What I'd like to say, Mark, is, I hear such crap going about that. People are I've heard it said about me, because everything one way or another gets back to you, is losing pigeons, so his workload's lighter. Can I just point out to everybody out there, for every pigeon I lose, that is a minimum of £25 in revenue gone, because we don't allow any bird to be sold from here at the auction under £50. We get 50% of that money. So every bird that we lose is £25 up Swanee. That's serious revenue. So I think 25 pigeons would probably work out at about 2,500 quid. So 2,000 for every 250 pigeons, probably 2,500 quid. That's serious money. Don't quote me on my maths because I'm not great. But at
every 100 birds you lose.
Go on, mate.
Yeah. Every 100 birds you lose is a $2.5 grand in your pocket.
Right.
Gone.
Yeah, that's right. Gone.
And ultimately, from a commercial business point of view, it is within your interests, despite what people may think, is to keep as many damn birds to be at the end as you can. It just makes sense. We have some more questions in. I don't know if you've got an opinion on this, but it's been asked, so I'll ask it. John O'Brien asks, have you got any opinion on the massive losses in quarantine in the South African $1 million race?
It's difficult for me to comment on another one-off race, really. But again, you've got so much cross-contamination from all over the world coming in, so I really won't want to comment, to be honest. I have my own opinion, okay. But I'd rather not comment.
That's fine. I respect that. This comment came in a lot earlier when you were talking about the herpes and what have you, but Morris O'Donnell says Gary is 100% correct. What else have we got? Rich King says, trouble now is there's too many birds that there are too many, that don't treat and vaccinate for basic illnesses and disease. Young bird sickness. You see birds in the crates blatantly have got early signs of it. How can you prevent yours from getting it when they're in contact with them? I mean, it's a question.
Quite easy.
Go on.
what I would do for the first 2 young bird races is on return from the race on the Saturday, is I'd have Docomox, which is amoxicillin, mixed with electrolytes, probably Medialyte, or HYP 100 from Van Robis in the water. That would be on Saturday when they come home, Sunday and Monday morning for the first 2 weeks, by which time the birds will then have created their own immunity against the young bird sickness, because they'll have been used to mixing them with the pigeons on the transporter. But what I would like to point out is, which I really do have to agree with this person, is it Richard? Yeah, with Rich King, he's right what he's saying. Too many people aren't vaccinated early enough and not vaccinated for the right things. I had a bloke this year saying, I vaccinated my youngsters before I bought them to you. I said, oh yeah. I said, what for? He said, PMV. He says, but it went out to date a year ago. What a joke. Luckily, we vaccinated them straight away anyway. But why bother?
Does that harm the pigeon if you vaccinate it again, mate, in any way? Is it detrimental?
No, not at all. I don't think so anyway. We've done it. You know, I had people this year come to me. We're very, very serious diseases within the pigeons. And I advise them people to do various things with the pigeons, but the main thing was to vaccinate twice within 7 days. That same person has gone on to win 3 out of the 5 races he sent to. So, no, I don't think it does.
Simon Schofield says, Tollison says the vaccine doesn't work against fat eye.
Probably because they've not got a vaccine to... I've heard this again, over and again. Tollison say this, Tollison say that. I can only tell you from my experience that...
Of course.
The vaccine does work against fat eye. And I could name people on here now which will also back up what I'm saying. It does work against fat eye.
Fair enough. Andy Pereira says, Gary is spot on about the corn. Do you worm them?
Yes. Once all the birds are in the loft, we worm, flock. I call it flock treating. We flock treat the whole lot for worms. We use it for 2 days. It is only a 24-hour treatment, but I always think that as a backup, do it for 48 hours. What if you want a bit of a tip to get the best performance out of your pigeons is pick your big race Monday and Tuesday before they get basket on Thursday for France. Worm your pigeons 24 hours. Watch the performance.
Cool. Stephen O'Brien says, thank you, Gary. Ian Holdsworth says, spot on, Gary. Scott Barron says, I think Gary needs an eagle owl.
Oh, yeah. I need one.
Gary will be participating in said project, Scott. And Tom Swift says, you've got one right on your doorstep at Belper Mill, nightmare.
Yep.
How you doing, Peter Bell? Thank you for coming in. I know you've said this already, but some people didn't catch it, and that's worth repeating. Chris Bennett asks, what are the dates for the darkness that you use again? Could you just repeat that, mate, please?
Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. The darkness hours, the darkness dates that we use is when the clocks go forward in March. So the last Saturday in March, the Sunday will be the first day on darkness, and we darken them from 5 till 9. You can use 4 till 8, whatever hours suit you, as long as you get the hours in. And we take them off the dark on the 8th of June. Now, if I was racing in the National, we'll say, as a flyer like you are, and the races aren't until the first and second week in September, I'd keep them on the dark till 14th of June.
Okay. Thank you for that, mate. Ian Holdsworth says, I use a flashing beacon when the birds are out only, and he's not had one strike.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that works well. Yeah.
That's interesting. Andy Pereira says, most lofts I know of have lost 50% or more. It's not to do with G&G, it's Hawks, simple. Yeah. Morris, I'm not asking Gary to comment on this because I don't want him to, but I will repeat your comment in the on the live. And Morris says there's a race in Tenerife that have never got more than 10% to the final. Again, I'm not going to ask you to comment on that, but I will read out what you've said, Morris. Andrew Walton, sorry, says that guy knows his pigeons and the health, top man. Paul Graham says, very interesting, Gary. Rich King says, thank you very much. And Chris Bennett says, thank you. So you've got 75 people watching you, mate. 78 now, actually, even with the technical problems. So I think this has gone down really good. And I think we should get you back on as a semi-regular spot talking about this, because I think the more people that hear this, the better. It's just going to help more and more people. Pete Berry says, interesting point about sending young birds too early, double molt, something to think about. We've still got lots of people joining us now, 75 watching now. Thank you for everybody's comments and joining, and thank you to those that have shared. I can see people have shared. Simon Woolley says, great talk, lads. And Bellevue Lost says, enjoying this, lads, too. Thank you to everybody. And this is the kind of stuff we want to be doing. And Gary offered to do this and come on and talk about health. And, you know, at the end of the day, he had a loft of 700 odd birds, and he's probably going to have a loft of 1,200, if not 1,500. So next year, so up the game and up the hassle. And Cy James says, great piece. Thank you for that, Cy. Right, so thank you, mate, for that. Before you go, though, let's talk about a couple more things related to your race. Yeah, Ian Snaith says, quite interesting. Plenty need to watch and learn. Absolutely. And please, again, share it, guys, and let people know about it. Scott Barron says, keep them coming, Gary. Got the pen and paper out here. We will get...
Can I just butt in, Mark, if you don't mind?
Yeah, mate. Do what you want, mate.
What I'd like us to do, bearing in mind I don't race no more, so I don't intend to keep... I keep a few secrets back, but virtually, I like the novices of this world, the everyday working class man of this world, to be able to compete against the big boys. Because we keep hearing this, money can do this, money can do that. I beg to differ. Everybody has good pigeons. I hear people say to me many times, I've got nothing good enough to win one-off races. I could quote performances which defy all that. But what I want to talk about is what I'd like to do in future weeks, if it's okay with you and the people watching. I'd like to move on to different things about when we pair pigeons up. Why do we pair them up at that date? Racing ends, widowwood cocks, how we treat them, how we used to, or how I would produce an athlete for national racing. Why, if I was racing again tomorrow, I'd concentrate more on ends. You know, to let the novice, if they're prepared to take notice, into some of the secrets which I've gained throughout Belgium and visiting many, many top lofts. Bearing in mind, like I said, we don't race. I've got nothing to hide.
Well, I'm sure people would be up for that, and I know, well, I'm sure they are, but I would definitely want that to happen. What I propose we do is make it a monthly slot to suit us both. We can do a monthly slot where you come on and talk about whatever you want to talk about, because ultimately everything you're talking about is there designed to help people. And there is too much secrecy going on because, like you said, you know, you're not racing anymore, and therefore you've got nothing really to hide. So let's do that, and let's do that. Some more comments coming in quickly. Marcel Donald, Sean Hunt had very few sick pigeons this year. It takes a top fancier to run a good one-off race. I agree. Fair play, Gary. Joe Waters, fair play, Gary. Very interesting info. Simon Woody says, I'm a novice. Anthony Ray, there's no secrets that can beat fresh air. But I get what you're saying about the fresh air, Anthony, but there's certainly a lot of tips and tricks people can use up. Cy Jamin says, brilliant. So people definitely want this to happen. So I think we should make this a monthly, minimum monthly thing. You're welcome to come on more than monthly, but if we make it a monthly thing. Now, Stephen Kennedy, you have read my mind, my friend. You have read my mind over the last 5 minutes. And he said it'd be great to be able to have a download health program for getting stockbirds ready for breeding right through the racing season. You read my mind, Stephen Kennedy. I was thinking as Gary was speaking, and I tell you why I was thinking about it is because, as many of you know, my son Zandy is going to be racing next year and complete novice. And I, in many ways, am a novice when it comes to actually getting birds right and all of that stuff. And I was thinking, we need this as a downloadable guide. And I think that's worth probably looking at. I think we could get various elements, reports type things, and ultimately, if we get enough of them, they can come into a book. But I think we should look to get that done, and perhaps, you know, some people learn in different ways, video, audio, and written or reading. And I think I'd be quite interested in looking to do that. You know, we start off as a written thing, we can put it into video and based and audio. We could look, I don't know if you'd be up for helping with that, Gary, but certainly we could distill everything over the next coming months that you're going to be doing into a written format, which I think would help.
Well, let's face it, Mark. Unlike many sports, in pigeon racing, there's no handicap. So you're on your son Zandy is coming into the sport next year, and he's got to compete against people who've had pigeons for 30, 40 years. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. But, as you know, as I've told you, and the other contacts you've got, some great contacts, fantastic people behind you, fantastic supporters of what you're doing for the pigeon sport. I'm there for you. I'm there to help him, because he's going to find it hard. Make no mistake about it. And don't let anybody kid you any otherwise. What I will say is, he needs to stick at it, because he'll get there. If he's keen and he's dedicated, that's the main two things he needs. We'll make sure he's got the birds to fly, and we'll make sure that he has knowledge how to keep them healthy. That goes without saying. And I would do that for any fancier out there today who's just coming to the sport. We need to encourage youngsters into the sport. And imagine a 14-year-old coming into the sport, and he goes to the club on a Saturday night, and Joe Bloggs has got 20 pigeons before he's got one. Totally demoralising. And that would happen week in, week out. Why has he got them? Because he's got the more knowledge. They've been at it that many years. But with people like myself and the other, I'm not going to mention names, but other people passing on bits they've picked up through the years, then we can help these novices get on a level playing field, or nearly level playing field to start out.
Not just as Andy, there should be some form of mentoring program developed. And one of the things Andy's got is me, and that doesn't mean from a knowledge point of view, not relevant in any way, shape, or form. But what he's got is me making contacts like yourself and like you know, Sean Hunt, Mark Walker, Sheldon Leonard, and many others that have offered to help. So, you know, that's the advantage he's got. And I say that from a point of view of somebody new coming in, whether they be young or adult, who won't necessarily have that. And that's a daunting thing. You know, if somebody's coming in new and, you know, local club members are not necessarily particularly up for helping or, you know, keeping secrets and that's not what, you know, people need. And he's got an advantage in that way. That's what I meant by that. And, you know, I think distilling this information into a written format and other formats is a good way to go. So, yeah, we can look to do that, mate, who suggested that. We've got a load more comments coming in, mate. So yeah, Stephen, I will look to see if we can get something like that done, Stephen Kennedy. Ian Snake says you'll be getting calls tomorrow not to reveal. I think that was a tongue-in-cheek comment there, Ian. Chris Bennett says he's got another question for you. How old should young birds be before you put them on the darkness?
Well, that depends on yourself. What I will say is the best performing darkness pigeons when I was racing, the best performing darkness pigeons are February hatched. We've tried that. But I mean, I have birds come. We put them on the dark end of March. We have birds still come into one loft in April, even up to the 20th of April. You know, they might only get 5 weeks on the dark. They only really need 6 weeks anyway. Long as gone as the myth, we must put them on straight out of the nest. It's rubbish. All they need is 6 weeks.
Okay. Peter Bell says he'll have to have a go at your one-off race next year. Bill Boxton says, excellent stuff. I've said early breath of fresh air, never had anything like this before, can only be good for the sport in general. Thank you, Bill. And a particular thank you, Bill, for interacting on my earlier video thread earlier on today. Much appreciated, mate. Ian Holdsworth says, any information on the jealousy system?
There's 1,000,001 systems out there. You know, it's a system I've never used, to be quite honest with you. Having said that, you get the best thing I think for jealousy system is hens. You know, get 5 hens in a box, chuck 1 cock in the middle, keep locking them up individually, laying them out individually, similar to the bull system. Only do it for, you know, leading up to the race and send them. But I'm not I can't really comment, so I've never really delved into it deeply. I used to race my hens and I would swear by hens on full widowhood. Boxed, but the hens were boxed. Like I said, I will move on to these things that we used to do on a later broadcast. You know, right down the line, I had nothing at all. It'll all be out there for you. Now, some people will take note. Some will think, well, a load of crap. Well, but it is what it is.
The reaction is definitely up for that, and I'm up for that, so let's do it. Still got 75 people watching now. Couple more coming in. Matthew Allenson Brown Senior says, my Flyers rule club racing, but one-off racing gives the little guy back racing fences a chance in one-off racing. I know what you mean there, Matthew. Agree. Budgie McLeod says, I think we have had a slight touch of respiratory problems. Do you have anything you would recommend?
As I said, we use 3 different products.
So is he best at
for ornithosis?
But if you want to say
anybody wants any help, you've got my number. You know, PM me, email me. I'll help anybody in any way I can. But it's not really in my interest. It's not really in my interest to go out there now on live TV saying, "Okay, you want that? You want that? You want that."
PM Gary, Budgie, for that. But thank you for asking the question, Budgie. And that's not meant, you know, against you. Just PM Gary, and he will help you in any way he can. Ian Riley says advice for novices is great, but only if they're willing to listen and learn. But that's the same as anything in life, Ian. People need to be able to listen and learn. Rich King says, brilliant info, bedtime for me. Night. Good night, Rich. John O'Brien says should be able to sponsor a novice in some way. I'd be happy to do that. Peter says there's plenty about, not many will tell you anything, and most racing guys won't. Morris O'Donnell says, Jesus, Gary, you have some tan, or is that blood pressure? I would guess that's a combination of both. Being many hours out there in the sun, especially on that race, he still must have a tan from that. But yeah. Jeffrey Abel says, great idea, hard to get information around near me as they all keep it quiet. We will look to do something on that, Jeffrey. I will have a think about the best way of doing it. Chris Bennett says, thank you, Gary. Robert Anderson says, good interview, guys, straight talking and common sense. That's the key words for Gary. Stephen Kennedy, you're back. Margaret, this is not a question to you necessarily, Gary, but we'll do it because it's relevant to an earlier live I did. Margaret Elizabeth McCauley said, how would you deal with another pigeon fancier making another life a living hell? Margaret, send me a message, see if we can help in some way. All right. I said earlier on the thread that maybe there needs to be a bit of an anti-bullying group created because there seems to be a lot of it going on, and I don't like that. And I know Gary doesn't either. Right. So two things quickly before Gary goes, because it's getting to be past his bedtime, because he's an early riser, unlike me. There is a new Who Dares Wins website, which I'm going to share with you now. Now, this is not the finished article in any way, shape, or form, but it's part of the 2020 plans to up the game of the Who Dares Wins race. Not that it needs upping, but certainly up the marketing and promotional aspect of it. That's what I meant. And this is the new website. So that's not good. What I will do is revert back to getting him on the phone just to finish this off. I know exactly what he's done. He's watching it, or his wife's watching it on the other phone, on the other computer, and it's kicked him off because he's using the same.
Hi, mate. You must be right. Yeah, you put it in again.
It's because you're watching. Watching on the other one. That's fine. But just to finish. I've just showed people the website. Like I said, the new website address is whodareswinsrace.com. Very simple and easy to remember. So we're going to be developing that and doing a lot more with it. But what you can see there for at the moment is just the start. It's essentially pretty much what it was before, but it's going to have a lot more improvements to it. And the other thing to mention was, before I let you go, we are launching a new competition for the Who Dares Wins race. Do me a favor, Gary, just log out on where you're currently watching it and try and come back in again, because this is important. I want you in on it. And I know, guys, we're nearly 90 minutes into the show, but I want to there's still a few things I want to do. Can you try and do that? Just log.
Yeah, that's gone. I've closed it down now. The other computer.
Right,
It was
so,
on all the while I was talking to you before.
yeah, it's because I took you off the screen for a minute, and when I take you off the screen, it doesn't let you come back on. It's just a technical glitch.
Right.
So if you can click that link again, you should be. I'll get off the phone and hopefully you can come back in. Nothing's happening, and while I'm waiting for Gary to come back in, his minimum goal is, when I say our minimum goal, from a promotion and marketing point of view and helping him getting it more birds in and up in the game, he's expanding the lofts and what have you. And he's back. There we go. So the plan is minimum 1,200 is what we're aiming for. When I say we, I only talk about me from a point of view of with the marketing and the promotion stuff. I'm not any part of the race. It's Gary's whole thing. But when I ever say we, I mean from me helping point of view. And the maximum up there that he can take is 1,500. So yeah, new website, whodareswinsrace.com. But one of the other things we're going to be doing is, and this is a part of helping as many people as possible. One of the new things we're going to be doing is we are going to be shortly, I haven't got a date for it yet, but it will be coming soon. We are going to be launching a competition, and this competition will be free to enter. All it will take is your name and email address. And the competition means that if you win the competition, so there's 3 prizes to the competition. The first prize is a 3-bird team in the Who Dares Wins race. Free. You've got to supply the birds, but your entry fee is covered by Gary in the competition, which is essentially worth £500 for 3 birds. Second prize is 2 birds, which is £400 value, and the third prize is 1 bird. And it will be completely free to enter, just name and email address to enter. But one of the other interesting parts about this is that the system we're going to be using for competition means that the more you share it, or the more things you do, or the more people you tell about it, you get more entries into the competition. And we're going to be launching that soon. I haven't got a date on it, but just wanted to let you know that you will have a chance to be able to enter a competition to win a 3-bird team for the winner, 2 birds, 1 bird for third. And that's what we're going to be doing. So watch out for that soon. Again, it's all part of upping the game, getting as many people involved. The easy payment plan, you know, is something that we announced last week. I think it was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Time flies. And again, you've had people already take you up on that offer, haven't you, Gary?
Yep. Yeah,
quite a few.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, as it stands at the minute, we've well over 200 entries already for next year, which is it's absolutely phenomenal. You know, so hopefully we're going the right way. We're trying to improve each year, and hopefully people see that the sincerity within myself, and I know the family, to take care of their birds when they come to us, because trust me, it absolutely cripples me when we have a knock. Nobody knows.
I know. And, you know, that's it. But as I say, moving forward to 2020, that's what we're doing. Easy payment plan. I keep using the royal we, but carry on this stuff for next year. Easy payment plan, £50 deposit, 3-bird team for £50 deposit. Pay as much or as little weekly or as monthly as you want. And as long as the birds are fully paid for before they hit the loft, you're in. And essentially that gives you 6 to 8 months to get your entry fees paid to Gary over a period of time, which again is all part of making it accessible to as many people as possible. You're the first to implement it. I'm sure you won't be the last, but you're the first, and that says a lot. Together with this competition that we're going to be running as well, as I say, it'll be free to enter, and the first prize is a 3-bird team. And again, people that perhaps can't afford even to pay over, you know, the easy payments is a way of people being able to do that. Gary, you're a star. Thank you for all your time.
Can I just say one thing, Mark? I'd like
sure,
to thank everybody who's tuned in tonight. I hope you found it interesting. And thanks for your support. Thanks for your positive comments. And thanks, Mark, for giving me the chance to pass on a bit of knowledge.
It's all about knowledge sharing, mate, and that's the good thing. That's part of the revolution, sharing the knowledge, because it's too many closed people sharing their own stuff because they're racing. And like we said earlier, one of the good things about you is you are not racing anymore. So bring it on, share the knowledge. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Mark. Thanks.
Everybody, bye. So there you go. Competition to win some entries into the team next year and easy payment plan. Right, let's catch up on some comments. Anthony Ray says, for novices, today there's a great position for his old hands when it all comes to hard road. No help and taking 30 years plus experience here. Find your system, stick to it, and don't chop and change. Maybe Ian Holton said maybe we could get local schools for loft visits 4 or 5 times closed. Good idea. Baz Nichols says website look good. It's nowhere near like it's going to be, Baz, but it's a start. John O'Brien says I've tried that. It's too much paperwork regarding kids off premises. Andrew Dent, how do we get our prison to be more consistent? Come back on the next show with Gary in and you can ask that question directly. Gary's gone now, but yeah. Stephen Kenny says match smashing idea. Say, don't know when it'll be launched yet. There's some technical stuff I got to figure, but we're going to be doing it. And like I said, the more things you do, share it,